getting traded, cut, whatever. Number one, it's just a decision. It's looking at look at the business of it. Everyone's trying to have the best team. Everyone's trying to have the best team. So, and as a responsibility for the coach and organization and general manager, that is your responsibility to put the best team. So whether you're my son's best friend, you're my nephew, whatever, truly, if there's someone better, that person deserves to be on the team before you. It has nothing to do with how much I love you. It has nothing to do with that. It shouldn't. It shouldn't. Does it happen? Of course. Now you could say, but I'm good in the room. Okay, but I don't care about your room. Right? So, and then a lot of times it doesn't you can't figure it out because it's just a fit that sometimes the coach doesn't like you on the team, likes someone else, likes a different personality. You might score 50 goals for me, but I want someone that hits 50 guys a game or a year. It's just that thing. So, and then the other side is always look at what can be good about it. Always look at what could be good about it. So if you got traded and you're on a first place team, got traded to a different team, is it all bad? Not necessarily. Okay, it's a new opportunity. It's a new opportunity to show that you made a mistake. It's a new opportunity to take a team that's not as good and make them, you get more ice maybe, and you take them on your back and you turn it around. Actually, there was a kid this year on Charlie's team, Max Nemestikov. He was his first year and a half in Sarnia. He was a third overall pick, I think, and he's a smaller guy and can skate like the wind and he can score goals. You'd think. So his first year till he got traded to Guelph, he was okay. The numbers were okay. Nothing to get excited about. So in my opinion, there's probably coach, it's just a coach player. I don't like it. There's something about you I don't like. And not getting the opportunity. Comes to Guelph, he got, I think, almost 40 goals and played great. Hit guys. He was awesome, man. Awesome. And he fit into the room, right? And all that stuff. So he took that as a new, fresh opportunity. So sometimes bad is good. Yeah. And then you look at getting traded, it's the other thing is you just don't know. You don't know what's going to be good and what's bad. So you have to look at your opportunities and just make them good. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just make them good somehow.
Yeah, I got a story I wanted to tell too. I'm not going to say the kid, but I remember a few years ago, a guy that we had in here, if I'm being honest, not a great hockey player, but extremely committed, worked real hard, extremely committed, worked hard, was friends with all the guys that were playing junior, and he wanted so badly to be in that hockey player kind of lifestyle. And I remember a few junior teams, they had called to ask me about him because he had a borderline midget year where it's okay, maybe this kid's got something. And I'm not saying he made the team because of me. I'm just saying I went to bat talking. I was like, man, he's a great kid. I can't speak to how much he's going to produce or anything, but he's a good kid. He works hard. He's committed, and he'll do what you ask. That's basically what I said. So he ended up making a junior team, not because of what I said, but because of a lot of factors about him, right? So he ended up making this junior team. A few months into the season, as junior teams do, more guys come back, lineups get changed around. And I remember talking to the one GM that ended up signing him, and he was just like, man, I got to cut this kid because he was the fringe guy and he was the last one on the chopping block, and got to cut the kid. And I said, yeah, you gave him time. You gave him a shot for sure. It's cool. And of course, the kid's going to be devastated because these are all his buddies and whatever. And so the kid gets cut. And what was beautiful about this situation is there was good communication on all sides. The GM communicated well with him, and he knew exactly where he stood. He knew exactly what was happening and all that. So he didn't get blindsided, which a lot of times that can be the issue, is the kid gets blindsided and now he feels like you hate him. But the communication line was there. So the kid was crushed, but he understood. It was I'm just not good enough right now. And a lot of times when kids get traded or they get cut, they're unwilling to accept the fact that maybe you're just not at the level you need to be at yet. Instead, they deflect to coach is an asshole. They don't see that I'm better than this, or I could play in that position better than that guy, or whatever. They go to those types of reasons, and they miss out on, maybe you're just not there yet. The type of player you want to be, maybe you're not good enough at that yet to be on this particular team this time at this, like, for this year. And so my point of that story is this kid ended up dropping down to another junior team, and he ended up doing fine, and he's still trying to chip his way back up to play on another junior team. And he's good. He's got a good attitude about it, and he's stuck with it. He's still working. He's still like working on his game, trying to get better. He didn't just shut down and go home and pack it up and say, this is bullshit, I got screwed. He didn't do that. And he might never make that team again. It may never happen where he makes that team again, but he might, because he's still doing the work to get better. And so the reason I wanted to tell that story is because, like I said, a lot of kids, they'll just go to assholes screwed me, and they don't reflect on, maybe you're just not good enough yet. And I think that's the trick, especially even at the younger ages. Like I said, the 13-year-old that played a couple years of AAA and then gets cut. And then, for the rest of their life, they were a AAA player that got screwed. And it's like, well, no, you played 2 years when you were 10 and 11, and then maybe you weren't good enough to play anymore. And that can be the reality. But if you ignore reality, then you don't fix your problem. You can't ignore it forever. Eventually it comes out in the wash. And so that's the only thing I would add on to that is, like, you need to be very honest about what's actually going on in a situation where you get cut or traded. Maybe it's not someone's out to get you. Maybe it's just you're not good enough.
But it could be for the betterment of your betterment. I don't know.
Yeah,
the
betterment. Yeah,
betterment of your development.
Yeah.
So, like, as you were talking about that, I just thought of two real quick things. Okay. 2 guys are going to get drafted this year from the London Knights. Their name is Oliver Blanc and Barkey will too, but Easton Cowan. Okay, they're going to get drafted if they're not, like, they are. So they were drafted the same year as my son, and the first year of junior, which is very common in London, is that your picks go and play junior B for a year. Well, that sucks. That's you don't listen. You don't get drafted at number 21 or 26 or 30 overall, okay, with the intention of going to play junior B. No one's excited about that. You're saying the London Knights, I'm going to play for London Knights. Guelph Storm, I get to play for the Guelph Storm. That's all you care about. So, typical fashion of London Knights, the Hunters, is they said, no, you need to develop and be based. I don't know the words. Okay, I'm speaking for them. Is you need to go develop because, let's say, there's deficiencies in your game, or it's going to be better for your development. And we'll call you up for some, but this is where you need to get good. And I would say that most people are, like, pissed about that, but it's not what happens, to how you handle it. So going down there and playing junior B for the year, there's not the glory. Your ego is that's a blow to your ego. But they learned and they practiced with the team. They played junior B, practiced with the team, got called up for some games, and they're in that system doing the right development. Are they better off today than they were if they didn't get ice last year in their first possible year? They're better off. They're going to go very, very high because they got an excellent system with excellent coaches, and they had the right attitude. So the thing is that you can call your agent and say, what's this shit? Right? And this is where parents, and this is where the system itself, but, like, parents and agents need to have the right attitude about it and say, like, this is actually going to be good for your development.
Yeah, it's part of the process.
Because you're like the reality of it, most 16-year-old kids are not ready to play in the Ontario Hockey League. And I mean most. And if they do, it's just like good for them, I guess.
Well, even if they do, normally it's with limited opportunity.
Well, of course.
Right?
And then you get the guys that get 40 points their first year and they beat people up. It's like, okay, that's then you belong. And there's certain guys that can play that belong, but it's like most kids are not ready for that, socially, mentally, and just from development. So it's embracing the bad. Like, it's good you got drafted high. It's bad that you got no. It's not necessarily bad. It's good because the Hunters are thinking long term for you. They want to make this team good for the next 4 years, not just make you happy today. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I think it's easy to think that they forgot about you or something too, right?
Absolutely.
It's so funny to see, like,